Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. Today, I'm going to talk about transactional emails with Sitecore DXP, how we created a solution for sending transactional emails in e-commerce using XM Cloud, Order Cloud, and Sitecore Send. A few words about myself. I'm Igor Zharikov, Sitecore Technology MVP 2 times, Sitecore developer working at Brimit. And here you can reach me. You can see my social media. You can reach me in Sitecore Slack via email or in X social media. And of course, you can check my GitHub profile. And here is agenda of today's presentation. I will start with some basics about transactional emails and also cover some technologies we used. Then we will review the implementation. We will discuss issues and challenges we faced and how we overcome them. And then I will show you the demo and I will try to answer all your questions. So let's start with the introduction. Let's firstly define what is a transactional email. It is one-to-one email that contain information that completes a transaction or process the recipient has started with you. So customer performs some action on website, and then we notify them about it via sending email. Here are a few examples of transactional campaigns: user registration, password reset, order confirmation, order shipped, order delivered, one-time password email verification. You can find those emails almost on any e-commerce site. Some key concepts and requirements for transactional emails. Transactional emails are unique for each user and for each action. According to GDPR, we shouldn't get the consent from user to send those emails. You should get it for marketing emails, but not for transactional. Transactional emails are crucial for users to feel safely. For example, as soon as order is completed, user expects to receive those types of emails, order submit email. So it's important to keep send and deliverability percent very high. And also you should not only send email, but as well somehow check it appears in the inbox folder rather than spam. SPF, DKIM, DMARC, all those types of records should be configured from technical side to successfully deliver email and to ensure that it won't be appear in spam. And of course, as we've mentioned previously, transactional emails are important for users, for customers of the website. So you need to monitor if email sending was successful, and in case of any failure, log errors and exceptions. In current presentation, I will cover multiple Sitecore DXP products and other cloud products, so I will describe each one shortly. I'm pretty much sure you're aware and worked with each of them, but just short introduction and mention each of the products. So our site is built using XM Cloud, a fully managed self-service deployment platform for developers and marketers. It's basically Sitecore's headless CMS in cloud. For e-commerce, we use Order Cloud, flexible e-commerce API-first platform. We store products, users, orders, and other information there. As an email management platform, we use Sitecore Send, personalized email automation platform. For extensions and integration, we use Azure Cloud Platform, which provides broad range of cloud services. And in our case, in our solution, we use app service functions, service bus, and other services. And our front-end application is deployed to Vercel, which is a front-end as a service cloud product. It's a cloud platform for static sites and serverless functions, offering features such as global CDN, custom domains, and automatic HTTPS. Before talking about implementation of transactional email feature, let's see the size and complexity of client solution and infrastructure. So we started with multiple sites for a single brand. Now there are 3 brands managed in a single XM Cloud instance, and it's possible that we will add even more. Each brand has its own design and its own commerce-specific entities. Each brand may contain multiple sites for each country, and each site may contain multiple languages. So here is just a high-level overview of size and amount of sites we have. In terms of site core, here you can see the screen from content editor and how we organize all those items. Each brand is site folder, each country under brand is site, and then each site may contain multiple languages. And all this needs to be evaluated during transactional emails implementation, because user needs to receive emails for correct brand, country, and in the correct language. So here is a scheme of the existing architecture. Before we added transactional emails, we have a front-end application deployed to Vercel, and it uses data provided by Experience H from XM Cloud for page rendering. For commerce communication, Vercel make direct calls to Order Cloud. For example, authentication by email, retrieving shopping cart information, order information, and all the other. For any extensions we need on the front end, we implement custom integration middleware where front end make calls, and then integration middleware may call Order Cloud and other services. For example, we added additional authentication by phone number, and it's implemented there. And for any server-side integration, we use middleware service, which is as well deployed to Azure. And for example, webhooks, payments, and other integrations are implemented there. So now the question is where to integrate somewhere here in this existing architecture, SiteCoSend, to send transactional emails for customers. So let's deep in the implementation. Firstly, we need to understand how we can send transactional emails. And I will start with a new approach, which I didn't test it yet, but it's quite new approach. It was released maybe months or a bit more ago. Now you can configure transactional campaign in the SiteCoSend and then send the email to specific customer using API. You have multiple design options. You can just provide raw HTML. You can provide template URL for the email to be sent. SiteCoSend will download it and use the result HTML in the email. And the last and the largest improvement is that you can now manage design for transactional emails in SiteCoSend. The only downside of this feature, this new API, is licensing, that it's only included in starting from Lucent Plus plan. Unfortunately, it's not available in the free trial. So yeah, here what we have currently. A bit more details how this new API should work. First of all, you create a new campaign in the campaigns section of your account in SiteCoSend. then you can design and configure the design in Cytosend, and you can use some tokens, like custom tokens. In this case, for example, it's order number. As you can see, it's highlighted on the screenshot. And after that, after the campaign is configured and created in Cytosend, you should trigger Cytosend API using post endpoint. And in the substitution field, you can provide values for tokens, and Cytosend will automatically replace it, and personalized transactional email will be sent to customer. Currently, I didn't find any information about handling some complex objects or arrays in tokens. So I hope in the nearest future, I will be able to use this feature, and then we will check how it all works in more details. But back in the days when we started to implement Cytosend transactional emails, basically there were no this feature, and Cytosend suggested to use SMTP to deliver transactional emails. To use SMTP, you should enable it and get the connection details from your account settings. So I don't want to mention how to send an email using SMTP. It's quite easy. If you had no experience with it, you can easily Google it. In any programming language, it's pretty much standard procedure. So I will just cover some features which are specific to Cytosend. So SMTP send emails are tracked as any other marketing email. You can track sends, opens, link clicks, and so on. All sends are tracked in the default campaign called transactional campaign, or you can specify custom one in the header when you send the email. And also all SMTP email recipients are added to default transactional campaign recipient list, or you can specify custom one. So to send any email using SMTP, we need a ready HTML email content. And as previously there were no option to manage template in Cytosend, we should prepare the template and render it for specific case and for specific customer by our own. And so we have some questions. First of all, now we know how to send the mail, so we will use SMTP, but where to send it from? And another question is how to prepare and render the template. So we need to find answers on those questions. Transactional emails in e-commerce are usually related to commerce platform in most cases. So we need to find some integration points in our commerce platform, commerce solution, Order Cloud. And the first way of integration there is webhooks, and they are managed in Order Cloud portal. Some features for webhooks in Order Cloud: you can subscribe a webhook on any API call. In the trigger events configuration, you can select resources and operations when webhook should be triggered. You can assign single webhook to one or multiple operations. You can configure it as you prefer, as you need. Another option available is a prehook or before process request. So usually webhook is executed after API call, but prehook is executed before, and you have a control if the Order Cloud API call will be executed. Usually this is used for validation. And yeah, nice feature that everything for webhook is configurable in enhanced UI. You don't need to call any AutoCloud configuration API from console. All is available in the enhanced UI. And another way for integration in AutoCloud is Message Sender. And Message Sender is a feature that helps to deliver event-driven notification to user based on certain key commerce activities. AutoCloud defines the activities, which could be things like order submitted, order shipped, forgot password, and so on, and leaves it open to developer to decide the presentation and notification format. So Message Sender definition intersects with transactional email definition. It is a notification based on some commerce action, and it's designed for emails, for transactional emails, or maybe some similar types of notification like SMS and or maybe something else. But in comparison to webhooks, where you can subscribe to any AutoCloud API call, here for message senders, only defined activities are available. So you can see a really big list of options available. Of course, if there is no the one which you require, you can use webhooks. But overall, this list is more than enough for any scenario. Out of the box, AutoCloud Message Senders contains integration with Mailchimp email platform. Unfortunately, not with CycleSend. Seems like there was some connection issues. But now you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
We have troubles with connection.
So maybe I will go back to, I hope somewhere from here should be fine. We will cut. Yeah, so here we have only defined activities, but this list is more than enough. And if you don't have any suitable option here for you, for your specific use case, you can always use webhooks. Out of the box, it is integration with Mandrill, Mailchimp extension for emails. Unfortunately, not CycleSend. But for CycleSend, we can use, and for any other service, we can use custom URL option. So basically, we will configure it in the similar way as webhook. And overall, it's really a great option for our case for transactional emails, because message sender is basically the same as a webhook, but designed for notifications. And now we have an answer for the first question, where to send the mail from. We will configure a custom endpoint in the custom service and use this endpoint here in the configuration for AutoCloud Message Sender. And the second question was how to prepare the template, how to prepare the email which we will send. We decided to store email template in Sitecore XM Cloud as any other page. So that means that the template is rendered in the rendering host, Vercel in our case, and our handler web service, which sends the email, calls Vercel function to render template into specific customer email. I will show how it all works later. Here how it looks like from email template from the design option. The email template is accessible as any normal page, but only with placeholders, which will be replaced when we will render this template for specific use case for specific user. This email is also editable in XM Cloud page editor, and as well it's stored as any usual item in Sitecore. You can go to content editor and manage any metadata there, like email subject, another configuration for email, like from email, campaign ID, and list ID for Sitecore Send tracking. And here is the serverless function. And here is an example how we can call it. And what it does, it renders the template, which we saw on the previous slide, into the final email, into the final HTML, which we will send to our customer. So we call it just using post request. In the request body, we need to specify path to template page. So this function knows which template to render. We should also specify language. So we support multi-language. We specify base or cloud API URL. So here we can switch between sandbox and production environment. We add some authentication token for the front end, so only authorized and known services can render this email. And in the data object, we send user and email specific information. So here we provide user authentication token and order ID. In the response, we get back rendered email HTML. And also in the headers of the response, we get some metadata or just additional data for email, which is managed in Sitecore. In this case, it's subject base 64 encoded string, which we decode and then use as a subject to send email using SMTP. So here I visualized email render and sending. First of all, we get the notification from message sender. Then we request the email template from Vercel serverless function. Frontend uses XM Cloud page data and other data to render the email. So front-end renders layout with dynamic content, and of course provides some additional information about email subject from email address. And then we send email to customer by SMTP. And the full solution architecture looks the following. We get the notification from message sender in the middleware service on configured endpoint. Then we put the message into service bus topic. Azure function is configured to read the updates from the topic. So as soon as it is a new message there, the function is triggered. and we render the email as described previously, and then send the message to customer using Sitecosend. We use Service Bus for better message handling and to make process more asynchronous and decoupled. And as well, Service Bus topic has some features like that ladder, so we can review what's wrong, what was failed, why it was failed. So really nice and useful feature and approach. And now let's summarize the solution we have with the transactional emails. I will start with cons. Someone can think that many services are involved, so the architecture may seem a bit overcomplicated because we use Oracle Cloud, XM Cloud, Frontend, Sitecosend, and Azure services just to send a single email. But at the same time, it's technologies we use and it's a world we currently live on, because instead of monolithic architecture, now we use multiple services with really small responsibilities, and to combine all this together, we have to use many services. And another cons is that usually the template is managed somewhere in a mail platform. Of course, it's not always the case, but in most cases it is. But in our implementation, we manage the email design, email page in the XM Cloud. Now we can manage it in email provider in Sitecosend, but previously it was not available. But on the other side, we have some advantages as well. So as email managed in XM Cloud, editors and people who are working from customer side, who are working with email content, pages, and so on, they are already familiar with XM Cloud content editor, pages, basically all the editing tools available. So to manage email, they don't need to learn new platforms. The design is close to frontend, so all the components and front-end services available on the site, and they can be used or reused in the email rendering, of course, with some custom CSS. It's quite easy to maintain. This point relates to previous, and it's easy to extend because we started with around 3 main key emails, and then one by one added new emails. And on the base of this existing architecture, it was quite comfortable and let's say quick from developer perspective to add those new types of emails. And now let's talk about issues and challenges we had. So the first and probably most important issue we had is that some emails appeared in spam, and of course we had complaints about it, and we started to analyze it, and we found that some lorem ipsum text in email was on our production environment. So of course need to check those things before going live. Another thing is that we should always check that the spelling is correct. Luckily, we didn't have this issue, but overall, just for your information, email client may define the email suspicious if there are any grammar or spelling errors. And the last point was a bit more harder to identify. But I made a few tests and found that Gmail, for example, classify emails with those tags in the email body, script, template, and link. if there are any tags in the email body with those tags, so then the email can be classified as spam, as suspicious. So we had to clean up the template before we sent it to the client. Another issue was related to domain records. We saw there were issues with SPF checks, but actually it was configured according to guide in settings, and everything should work fine. But later we found out that Google Workspace and Office 365 Mailbox perform some additional validation in SPF, in the sender policy framework, because their servers receive and send the mail by their own. So we had to extend SPF record for our domain, and the full working record is here. So we added Outlook.com SPF domain and Google.com SPF domain, just to ensure that when some server in between from Microsoft to Google received and sent the email by their own, the email doesn't appear in spam folder. And those tools are used to identify issues with emails. To use them, you need to have EML file, open it in a text editor, copy and paste the content here on those sites, and you will get the report, is everything fine or something is wrong with your email. And here is an example of analyzing the email using MX Toolbox. So this email was received in Google Mail. We need to see original mail. Then we need to download or copy to clipboard the headers of the mail, paste it on the MX Toolbox site, and see the report. Another issue we faced with was site consent specific. So to understand it, let's review the email delivery flow through site consent SMTP. So we want to send an email using SMTP. We provide all the information, email, HTML, and from email to email and so on. And then we make a request. And site consent internally checks if the recipient email is already in the mailing list. And if it's not there, then subscriber is added to the list. And then it also checks that the actual status for the subscriber is subscribed, because email can be inside consent, email can be in the list, but it can be in the unsubscribed status and in subscribed. So yeah, if you can specify custom list, if not, then the default one is used. And if the recipient is in the list and it's in subscribed status, then everything is fine. Email is sent and tracked with campaign. But if user is in unsubscribed status in this list, email won't be sent. And again, now we know that if recipient is unsubscribed in the list, then email won't be sent. And even though user consent is not required for transactional emails, but site consent automatically adds unsubscribed link to the email client, and user can click this link and become unsubscribed from the full transactional list. And then in the next transactional email, when we'll try to send it, user won't receive it. So to fix it, we can first include a hidden unsubscribed link in your transactional email. And you're free to do it because from legal side, you don't need consent from user to send transactional emails. And so this link won't be visible, but it's still there. So Cytosend in this case won't add it automatically into email body, but it still will be, yeah. So as you can see here, there is no link in at the bottom of the email, but the link still will be there in the header of the email. And email client may visit those links, so user will become unsubscribed. And to ensure that we won't face with this issue, we can use Cytosend API to ensure that subscriber is in the correct subscribed status in the transactional list. So here is an example of C# code where I used Cytosend library, Cytosend NuGet package to ensure user subscriber is actually in the subscribed status. And it seems that in the new transactional campaigns feature, this issue is fixed. You can use bypass unsubscribe management flag, enable it with enable true as it's shown here, and then user status in the mailing list will be ignored and user will still receive the email. And now it's time for the demo. So quickly, the questions. So let me start with the demo with showing how it all works from user perspective. It's our client's site, dev environment of it, and yeah, our clients sell perfumes. And I already have some user on this site. But let's imagine that I just forgot my password and I'm requesting to get the link to reset password. So I hope soon I should get the email with the link for the password reset. Yeah, now it's here. I click the link in the email, and now I can just reset my password. Yeah, it's reset, and now I can proceed with login. So now I'm logged in, and I can check my was wrong user. Probably it's wrong. Yeah, it was Chrome autocomplete. Yeah, and now I'm requested to validate my email because my email is not verified on this website. So I'm requesting to verify it, and soon I should get the email with this 6-digit code to verify it. So, yeah, now it's verified, and now I can proceed with adding something to the shopping cart and going and basically ordering it, going to checkout. So I add some product to shopping cart, go to payment. I'm selecting some payment option. And now the order is created, and soon I should get the email. Yeah, here I have the email. So I just copied the order ID. So it's the same order ID, and I get the in the email all the details about my order. I can click on the link and to see the order details page on the website. So it seems like it's all working correctly. So now I will show you how it's all looks like from Sitecore perspective, from management perspective. So here we have 3 brands we develop websites for, and under Arabian Out, they say under my account emails, we have lots of different emails, transactional emails configured for this website. So yeah, editors can manage all those things here. The email itself can be open as any other page. And as you can see, the path to it is my account email order submit. So it's the same as any other page path. And also this page, this email is editable and is available for editing in the pages editor. Need to wait some time. Yeah, so all those things are editable. You can easily manage it here and change, publish, and so on as any other page. And another thing I want to show you is the configuration for message sender in the Order Cloud. So we have message sender, have various message sender, but the one we need is buyer emails. So here in the URL, we specified the link, the URL to our middleware service. We here select all the required message types. And also we assign and connect this message sender together with buyer. Buyer in Order Cloud is the same basically as the brand. So with this assignment, we connect our brand with emails. And also we have 2 queues, not queues, sorry, but topics. In the service bus, one is for user notifications and another is for order notifications. Now it's still loaded. And also we have let's reload the page. And also we have two Azure functions, send user notifications and send email order notifications. So just because it's connected to the topic, as soon as the message will be here, it will be read by the function. So currently I just disabled this function to be able to get this message and to see what's inside it. So now let's add another product and submit another order. So we can grab this message from the topic and see what's inside it. And then as soon as I will enable this function back again, and the function will be up and running, I should receive the message again. So now the order is created. And I should not get the message, the email now, because the service bus function is currently disabled. But I should get the new message here in the topic, and I have one. So it's current time shown here. And so I just copied it, and we will now check the message, but at the same time, I will enable the function because it takes some time to get it up and running and start sending emails again. So here is the JSON message we use when we get the required information, which email needs to be sent to whom and so on. So in this JSON, we have message type, it's order submit or just submit. In the body, we specify the order ID, and then we specify all the user specific information, the email of the username, and in the configuration, we have Storefront. Storefront is an API client in Order Cloud terms, and it has one-to-one connection or one-to-one relationship between site. So on the Order Cloud side or in our middleware, we can identify site by this Storefront ID. And of course, we also include language here. So we support multi-language. And company ID specify buyer or brand in other terms. This was the order which was created, and now we can quickly check as well. We can quickly check in the Postman the details and how we can call the Azure, not Azure, but Vercel serverless function. So I should be logged in here as the same user. So the same email is used here. And I can just specify the order ID. And with this endpoint, I'm calling Vercel serverless function to basically transform this template with the placeholders with no dynamic information into final email with order ID replaced with all the products information, payments information, and so on with the link. And here, as I mentioned in the presentation, we need to specify all those details so frontend can understand for which case and for which user their email needs to be rendered. I can change language here, for example, to Arabic, and in this case, it should be rendered. The email is rendered in another language. So all the languages which are available in Sitecore XM Cloud can be used here. And in the headers, I also receive email subject, which is base64 encoded. And if I just decode it, I'll get order submit with some placeholder, which will be replaced in my custom service. And this value is the same as we have here in Sitecore. So now I hope the function is up and running, and maybe it's not there yet. Yeah, sometimes it takes some time to to get the function up and running after it was stopped, disabled. But as soon as the function, yeah, here I have it. So yeah, now the function was up and running. We don't see the message here, and the I just received the email with details of my order. So that's it for the demo. And just a few last words. In the project, we used CycleSend and its API a lot. And I decided to create a separated Git repo for it, and as well .NET Client, which is available in NuGet. So if you're planning to use CycleSend or Mulsanne on your project or just want to play with it, feel free to use and contribute to those projects. And thank you for your time.